Good rising. I'm Kulina Casa of SatMom. I was given a nudge to come in and say a couple things about the eclipse portal that we're in right now. So most people know we're in between two eclipses. We had a new moon eclipse, and coming up on Friday, the 5th, we've got a full moon eclipse. So I could go into a lot of details, and there are a lot of astrologers out there, lots of details as to why this is the key right now. But what's going on right now energetically is a huge global push to help us with our shadow work. That's what's going on. So all these emotions that are coming back, all of the things that are kind of feeling present that we thought we had worked on already. There's little tendrils of them that didn't get fully purged. So anything that's coming up now is coming up as a gift to us so that we can have the access to it to release it once and for all. So we don't get to just let things go without them coming up to be seen before they move on out. So, expect things can be kind of uncomfortable right now, but the more that we can surrender, the more that we can make space for any big emotions, physical or energetic, making space for those things. The physical aspect can be when we play out old stories, like we're really kind of somehow subconsciously really believing the negative stories, the simple lines that we tell ourselves, I never, I'm less, feeling like you're not up to par or even over par with other people. There's a rebalancing going on in your system. So you can know without a shadow of a doubt all the aspects of yourself, your divine self. So we're in a super powerful time right now that any sort of emotional work is going to be well rewarded, even now more than any other time, because that literally the entire universe is culminating to help us purge these things, and we're alchemizing these old wounds. So considering childhood wounds are those spaces where our family or our culture or our surroundings did not accept certain parts of ourselves. So because that act of not being accepted feels so unsafe as a child, before we have that filter where we know the difference between being unaccepted and being totally left out without the support that we need as kids, we don't have that level of understanding yet that we can disagree and we cannot take on somebody's criticism or lack of acceptance. So as children, that just comes into us, and we end up disowning parts of ourselves that are really some of the most wonderful parts of ourselves. So we can go back in this time and retrieve those. So this morning, I taught a Kundalini Yoga Kriya, unloading the subconscious burden, that actually is a powerful, safe, and sacred container for working for the beginning of our lives, the years 0 through 11. And also even working on past life karmas. So anytime that we've got trauma coming up in this life, it's going to be pointing us to ancestral karmas, ancestral wounds, and our past life karmas. So note here, karma is not just like, oh, I did something bad to somebody else, so now I have to repay it. There's another level to karma that says, I was damaged, but I held that damage and I never reclaimed that aspect of myself. So we don't have to have memories or energy of betraying people or injuring other people in order to have karmas following us in negative stories and ways that we continue to feel victimized or feel less or unworthy or abandoned or whatever the original wound is. So I will be sharing, or I have shared, on SatMom Social, the set that we've done this morning and the set that we did last week. Last week's was a little bit simpler, and this week's was a little bit of a deeper dive. So we've got this space coming up, and even just after the eclipse, we may have noticed stuff moving out of our lives. Anything that is moving out right now is not to be clung to. It is moving out for your own interest because it's not in line with your soul anymore. and all of the things, even the pains and the pieces of ourselves that we have to reclaim, and the wounds, like these originally were put in place for our survival. So there's a level of thank you for your service, but it's not required anymore. There's a level of, you know, how did I feel when I originally lost that? What did I need then? How can I give that to myself now? And for me, it's been really just making choices that are ensuring my repetitive choices are not continuing to injure my inner child. They're not continuing to make me feel less or less worthy. And any place that I've been giving over my voice or my sovereignty in my life or my business with this particular eclipse have personally been just washing out. And it's been a message for me to claim my voice, claim my space, and stop running the stories that it's limited. What does this mean for you? So the yoga sets that I'm posting on SatMom Social will always be there for you. These are called rebirthing. The Kundalini Kriya creates a safe container for you to go there so that you can excavate wounds from your entire childhood and you can resolve them, and it's not going to continue to follow you. Regardless of what things you choose to do around this, your sacred awareness is the key to helping this come back to you. So grab a journal, just sit with it for a moment, notice yourself from these ages and what needs to be reclaimed. Anything that comes up. A great way to work with this is through a particular trigger that's coming up. People in the spiritual community sometimes like to use a particular divine aspect or god or goddess to work with a particular wound or aspect of themselves to dive into that shadow. But I find like the easiest route is when my emotions explode, because whenever I have an emotion that's larger than the actual situation requires, that's a childhood wound. That's reactivating something in me that's much bigger than this one particular situation right now. Those words, that action, for the most part, unless it totally changed my life, it is what it is. I can say yes, I can say no, but I don't necessarily need to have a huge emotional response. And if I am, my awareness is that it's triggering something deeper inside of me. So how can I get to that, the original wound, rather than the current application or the current reflection of that wound? Because right now, the people around us are going to continue reflecting our wounds to us stronger and stronger until we start to get it. And we don't need that pain anymore. Now is the time that we can let the pain go and step into our joy and step into knowing we can claim what we're here to do, here to be, what we want, and all of our deepest desires. And that's always what's in our best interest. So obviously, it's not your soul's desire if what you desire has a negative effect on somebody else. So all of us are going to choose different tools and choose different ways. Nature's a wonderful way. Lean against a tree, get your shoes off your feet, put them in the water, put them on the earth. Notice what it is and make some sort of space for yourself. If you can carve out an hour and a half, do the Kundalini practice. The link to SatMom Social is going to be below. It's just $3 a month. There's 2 weeks free. So, if you don't like it, you can cancel before the 2 weeks are up. It's not a problem. Check it out. There's a lot there to help us understand and get back to our innate wholeness. We're not broken. There was just a lot of layers to get rid of. just so that we can shine in the natural brightness and the natural light that we are. Know yourself. This is the time. SatMom, so much love.